Hello and welcome to Always Elite. Today we're going to review AEW Dynamite, October 21st, 2020. As you can see, I have my friend up here. He's going to be my friend for a little while. Let's get right into it. First up is the number one contenders tournament match. It is Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. Early on, Wardlow uses his power, but Jungle Boy uses his speed to outsmart Wardlow. Wardlow uses heavy power moves, but Jungle Boy will not give up. Wardlow hits an F10 from the outside of the ring to the inside, and then another in the ring and gets 3. Wardlow advances in the tournament. Then it's a recap of last week between Mox and Eddie Kingston, what happened after the show went off the air. Eddie says he's going to make Moxley quit at Full Gear. Then, after the break, Mox talks about how he loved Eddie as a friend and now he doesn't know who Eddie is. Says at Full Gear, he's going to get his friend back or end him. Next, it's Sonny Kiss versus Kenny Omega in a tourney match. Kenny had a long intro, and as you can see here, he had girls with brooms, signifying now that he is the cleaner. Yes, the cleaner has finally debuted in AEW. Okay, well, this match only lasted about 15 seconds. Basically, a V-trigger and a one-winged angel, and Kenny gets the 1-2-3 and advances. Then it's Penta L0M versus FENIX in another tourney match. Yes, it's brother versus brother. Match starts off with some great chain wrestling and some counter moves. Penta, as the older brother, counters FENIX's high flying with a super kick and changes the match in his favor. Throughout the break, Penta was all over FENIX. FENIX hits a huge Spanish fly, but can't put Penta away. Penta uses his famous arm break spot and breaks FENIX's arm. But after that, FENIX makes him pay with a destroyer, and FENIX advances in the tourney. Next, it's Colt Cabana versus Hangman Page in another tourney match. After some good counter wrestling, Hangman just takes over with a huge lariat. Throughout the break, Hangman was all over Colt Cabana. Colt had a small flurry towards the end of the match, but it wasn't enough. Page hits a buckshot lariat for the win. Page advances. Then Taz comes out and talks about Will Hobbs. Says he wants an answer to his offer. Then he says he's pissed that Darby Allin gets another shot at the TNT title at Full Gear. Then we get dinner with MJF and JERICO. There's a bidding war on which steak is going to be prepared the rarest. A little one-upsmanship. Goes from, well done to medium well to medium to, rare to JERICO said blue, which means just cut it on a plate and give it to me. It's funny as hell. Then it goes into a duet. And they start singing one of the show tunes, the old school duet show tunes. It was frickin' great. I say that was segment of the year, if not ever. Next, then, we get Britt Baker versus Kylie King. Early on, King out-wrestles Baker, but it doesn't last long. A huge DDT, a fisherman's neck breaker, a curb stomp, and a lockjaw, and Britt wins the match. Then we get to the main event. It was a 4-way tag team match to determine the number one contender for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It's Butcher and Blade versus the Young Bucks versus Private Party versus Alex Reynolds and John Silver of the Dark Order. Early on, Young Bucks dominate until Private Party tag in. Then all hell breaks loose between all four teams. Throughout the break, Butcher and Blade take total control of this match. And then as it comes after the break, and there's a little bit more, John Silver is very, very impressive. He just smashes all their teams in about 4 moves. Just takes them all out. He is very, very underrated as a wrestler. But he's very, very good. Young Bucks tag themselves in, and they supercook Butcher with... and then they super kick everybody else. And then a Meltzer driver, but can't get the win. This was so predictable that the Young Bucks would win. But they had a counter roll up on Private Party. And so it will be FTR versus Young Bucks at Full Gear. How freaking predictable was that? We saw this coming a year ago. If not 7 years ago, or however long this thing's been going on Twitter and everything else. We knew this was coming. I figured they would have done this at All Out, but Full Gear is fine. Right after the match, FTR goes to the ring for a stare-off with the Young Bucks. Someone comes in the ring and attacks Young Bucks with a chair. Then FTR spikes Nick, which looked really, really nasty. Then they put the chair on Matt's leg and stomp it from the top rope. And Matt may have a broken leg. It looked pretty awful. It looked like it was botched because he was writhing in pain, rolling around, kicking everything in sight out of the way, trying to kick it at FTR. It looked pretty nasty, so I don't even know. Oh, and speaking of injuries, FENIX, it looks like he injured his neck on a botched turn Karana from the top rope. He landed directly on his neck, so we'll see how that one pans out as well. Well, that was it for Dynamite. They went off the air with him writhing in pain. So, that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. And until next time, always be elite.